Happy Venus Day, everyone. Welcome to this love energy reading for Friday, December 9th. So as always, we have two segments for this reading. The first segment is going to be for those of you who are married or in established relationships. And the second segment is going to be for those of you who are single. So go ahead and take a look at the timestamps down below in both the description box and the comment thread. And you can quickly jump from segment to segment or pile to pile. All right, see you in just a sec. All right, everyone. This segment is for those of you who are married or in established relationships. So we have three piles here. We're using an orange agate today for pile 1. We're using a bloodstone for pile 2, and we're using celestite for pile number 3. Now, some people feel intuitively drawn, other people do not. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You can always just randomly select a pile. Chances are there will be something in there for you somewhere. Again, timestamps in the description box and the comment thread down below. If you want to pause the video right now, feel your way through it, you certainly can. If not, then I'll see you in just a sec. All right, pile number 1, you selected this lovely orange agate, although maybe it looks a little bit brownish on the camera. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first card is going to represent the energy for the person reading, and this is going to represent the other person. Okay, so clearly, you are the one extending, your assistance, your emotional support, whatever the case may be. It's possible your partner may have recently lost something or is going through something disappointing, or there are things surfacing from their past that they're having to deal with. The Five of Cups can be a little tough. It is a card of sorrow and grief, loss, that kind of thing. So I know that there's a sensitivity around what's going on. The good news is I do think the Page of Cups is able to pick up on what's going on, right? So there's a lot of emotional intelligence between the two of you. You can tell that something's off, even if they may not necessarily be communicating it, and therefore can just offer, I'm here type of thing. I don't know how communicative this person is going to be. Now, the roles can be flip-flopped, of course, but I don't know how communicative this person is going to feel right now. I think Five of Cups can get a little bit messy sometimes, and it just kind of feels like a lot of emotion is getting processed, but the intellectual component or the interpretation of those things isn't always necessarily like fully on point. And therefore, it may just feel like, I don't know, it can sometimes put up a little bit of a wall, right? Where they're going through something, but they don't know how to articulate it, because they don't understand it necessarily fully themselves. It is possible that your partner may not have gone through anything, but that they are wanting expansion in their lives somehow, but they're not really quite sure how to integrate that in a productive and useful way without completely losing something else, right? Like they may want to have more financial freedom, but they don't see how they can get that without quitting their job. And the notion of quitting their job is a very complicated one, right? That type of thing. So again, the Page of Cups is simply there offering a support, offering time and energy and attention to, I don't know that the Page of Cups is here to advise. I don't know that advising is a good idea. I think it's more just about listening and being present. And you can definitely rely upon your sensitivity here to help you navigate. Yeah. I don't want you to feel rejected. It may come across that way with the Five of Cups, Nine of Swords. If your partner doesn't want to talk, or if they don't really want to share, or if they don't really know, like, you're not being rejected. Maybe some of you need to hear that. I'm not quite sure, but they're not really pushing you away, and definitely not intentionally. It really has a lot to do with where they're at in their life. There's a lot of self-assessment. Now, on Wednesday, we had that big full moon conjunct Mars. This week, we have well, today actually, Venus comes into Capricorn. But after this, we don't really have anything else going on this week, not until the 20th when Jupiter re-enters into Aries. And so we may be kind of entering a little bit of a dead zone between December 9th and December 20th, where just not a lot is really like happening. And I told you guys with the monthly readings that December was going to be very triggery. And I do think, your partner has been triggered and they're dealing with it, and there's not a lot that they can really give right now. Now, they may still, like if you've been married forever, they may still do what they do in terms of their role within the marriage. It's not like they're completely dropping the ball. It's just that the emotional component might not necessarily be there, and they're trying to figure out how to get more out of life. I know I've been talking a lot about them. It's not all about them, but it is a lot about you. And I do feel like you're in a really good place in a lot of ways. I'm not saying your life is perfect, but I am saying like there's a degree of satisfaction with who you are and what you've gone through and who you are becoming. And maybe there's some good things happening with your money or with your own career or whatever the case may be. 9 of Coins definitely has more confidence, more self-respect. There's a notion of just sort of internal fulfillment and a sense of self-value that's really, really strong. And there may not necessarily be this huge need for you right now to try to go out and get something or to be something, okay? And so there's a little bit more contentment in a positive way, a lot more contentment with things here. The only thing that just makes me a little bit nervous is this 4 of Cups is if you do outreach and they don't accept, it may make you feel like rejected. I know I said that at the beginning when I first pulled out this card, but that's not really what's happening. There is no rejection. It's just they don't know how to really accept. It's very difficult for someone to really accept something when they're in this current state. This is not permanent. This is just a temporary blip on the radar. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, this whole thing will lift. They'll find their motivation. Maybe even Capricorn season will be really good for them. Maybe Jupiter coming into Aries will be really good for them. And they'll start to feel that hope with Jupiter through Aries, hope of what they can become and the discipline that comes with Capricorn season, all right? So they just have to kind of get into alignment a little bit. And while they're doing that, it just may feel detached. See, exactly. There does seem to be an indication that you're unbreakable right now. So even though there's a disconnect, communication is going to go a very long way. Now, even if they don't really know how to articulate stuff, okay, you may you may be able to articulate it for them, which could be great because then it helps them to make sense of stuff. It gets them a new perspective. It gets them out of their own heads. You know how we always spin internally and then someone else comes in and says, oh, well, that's your problem. Now this person is probably not looking for a solution or advice, but maybe assistance in identifying the problem may be useful, okay? But communication really ties you two together right now. And as Mercury comes into Capricorn, well, it came in earlier this week, but now that it is in Capricorn, it is going to start being, really truthful about stuff. And the more truth we embrace, the more pure our paths can become and the more aligned we can become as well. Okay? So I think this will be a good week, actually. Even though this doesn't necessarily look very productive, I think it will be really productive. And a lot of decisions and kind of like determinations will come from this of saying, okay, now that I kind of went through that funk, now I know where I want to go. And I think beginning of 2023 will be really good for both of you, but whoever is in this particular position here, because if they've been getting fed up with something, they're going to have the resolve to actually do something about it. Okay? All right, pile one. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget that if you're a member, to please log in and check out the zodiac sign love readings that I post every Friday as well. All right? Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you selected the bloodstone. So let's go ahead and take a look what comes through. This is you. 4 of Wands. This is them. Ooh, Queen of Coins. Well, this is really great. It does seem like there is an abundant feeling between the two of you, right? Maybe things are going well for both of you. Maybe there's reason or cause to celebrate or to feel really good about maybe even some of the smaller wins. You know, like if you just had a small success today, why not go out and celebrate it? Why not make a beautiful meal or toast, you know, with a beautiful champagne or something, and really enjoy and indulge in the smaller aspects of life, or the big ones, depending. It depends. Some of you may have had some really great stuff happen this week too. There's definitely a sense of security that you're bringing to one another. There's a sense of love and well, security and safety, I guess, are the same thing, but you do feel very safe together. Now, the Queen of Coins is, I don't know, she is kind of sometimes in her own little world, though, okay? And sometimes the Queen of Coins can be distracted by her own goings on. So things they've got going on at work, their own financial goals, whatever the case may be. But I think that's okay. I mean, there's definitely no harm intended with that. They're not trying to like ignore your successes, you know. But I do think that this person puts a lot of pressure on themselves to do very well for themselves. And while they will 100% be there for this person over here, and celebrate all of this alongside of you, there is something gnawing inside of them that says, okay, we need to work a little bit harder. We need to keep going. We may need to make something happen for us. And actually, maybe your 4 of Wands, your little celebrations over here may help inspire them to really get things in gear as well. So what else for pile 2? Page of Coins. Well, that Page of Coins may be the reason why there's this sort of celebratory quality. You know, someone wants to give you money, a new client comes in, someone, I don't know, even it could be something as small as just a compliment. Something as small as a compliment. Okay. But I do think the person over here, you, okay, I tend to read this as this is your energy, the person watching, and this is your partner, but the roles can be reversed. But I think this side is pretty good, pretty solid. You know, you're in a good place, things are moving along, you tend to have a more optimistic view, or at least you're in peace of mind. At least. Now, the astrology the past couple of weeks with that moon building up to that full moon conjunct Mars, which happened on Wednesday, it was a pretty intense couple of weeks. There was a lot of heightened energy, a lot of like on edge kind of stuff. Like I said in the December readings, December is a little bit triggery. Okay, not only do we have the full moon conjunct Mars, but we had Neptune go direct. We're going to have Chiron go direct on the 23rd. So there's just like a lot of stuff really surfacing. But in spite of all of that, you seem to have reached a place that feels good, that feels safe, that feels, productive, and things are working like a well-oiled machine. There's not a lot that you're really wanting to change right now. You're on a really good trajectory, and that's great, okay? And your partner over here, though, with that 3 of Swords, I think this 3 of Swords is actually really therapeutic for them, you know? They're looking out at the world. They're seeing what's possible for them. They're seeing the gap between where they are and where they want to be. And they know that they're wanting to attain higher degrees of their own potential. And they have the resolve to actually do that. They're not happy just sitting on the sidelines, whining and complaining, being like, oh, I wish that I could, be like that, but I know I can't. Like, they're not sitting whining and complaining, all right, which is a really, really good thing. They're having this moment. Maybe it's a little bit of a come to Jesus moment for themselves, right? Like coming home, coming inside themselves and saying, all right, I'm the only one that can make this happen for me. You know, I'm the only one that can take myself to this next level. I'm the only one. Now, if you're in a little bit of a rocky situation, or if you are in a relationship that may be struggling, it may be because, I'm not blaming it all on them, but this week anyway, it may be because they are really fighting against this. Like, their soul wants them to grow and expand, and yet they are just piling on top of themselves all of the reasons and justifications and rationalizations in terms of why they can't. All right. And it's going pretty deep, I think. And they're just like pinning themselves down at this point. And I don't know that there's anything you can really do to help them. There's nothing you can say to motivate them. There's nothing you can say to make them believe in themselves. If that is the case, that really has to come from within. I would maybe recommend like therapy or something for a situation like that. I don't think that's necessarily your burden to bear. I mean, you can still be there. I'm not saying to like abandon your partner or anything. I mean, you can still be there, but sometimes it's a little bit out of our league, and sometimes it's hard for people while they're still processing and trying to understand why they're doing this to themselves. It's hard for them to talk to the people they love the most. For some reason, that degree of vulnerability, they don't always feel safe with that. And maybe a complete stranger, they'll weirdly feel more safe with, you know, whatever the case may be. However, I think for most of you, this is actually more positive. Okay. I just had to go down that little rabbit hole just briefly, just to give you a different scenario in case that's where you're at. But if your partner really is like, all right, let's freaking do this. I do think that King of Wands, there's a lot of creative energy flowing through your partner right now. There's a lot of ambition. And I think they've reached this pinnacle place in their life where they truly feel ready to embrace their future selves. You know, they truly feel ready. They're really ready to stop, you know, not doing things because of some kind of a trauma or some kind of a wound. This is like that time, like I said again in the December readings, that action is how we are healing right now. By taking action and doing the things that we had been afraid to do will be extremely therapeutic. Okay? Hopefully that's the case for most of you, because this can take a relationship really, really far. It can be a very exciting notion. So, 5 of Swords. Okay. So between the two of you, there does seem to be that little bit of a disconnect, but again, I don't think it's really intentional. So like I say, they'll be there for you 100% and be so excited and proud of you and so honored that you're with them and all the things, but they are still a little bit withdrawn. Please do not jump to conclusions about that. Please do not make assumptions about what's going on over there. What's going on over there may be a little bit more complex than you're realizing. And again, it's not really your responsibility. We all know that, yes, we can have people around us, emotional support people, while we're going through our healing journey, but our healing journey is our own. And that's what's going on. They're just on their own journey. So this will pass. This is a very temporary situation. It's like once they start getting that ball rolling, they're going to feel so great, and they're going to be like, okay, partner, like they're going to really bring you into it. And then you can do the 4 of Wands things together, really about what you're both doing. And the 4 of Wands can be about both of you instead of just one of you. Okay? Okay. All right, pals, so I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget that if you're a member, to log in and check out the weekly for each zodiac sign. Should be posted at the very top of the members area, or if you want to go to the little tab under the blog/members area. You'll see the weekly love readings. Okay? All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3, you selected the Celestite. So the top card is going to be for the person watching, and this is going to be for your partner. Okay, so you've got the Fool, they've got the Judgment card. I actually really like this combination because in a way, there's a lot of similarities. There's newness, right? This person over here is kind of coming into a new consciousness, coming out of a darkness or a funk or a haze. Maybe they have some kind of an epiphany or a new idea, something shocking and unexpected happening in their own mind, and them looking at the world in a different way. And the Fool's not that different. It's just a little bit more like ready. We're not always ready for this bolt of lightning to hit us like this, but the Fool is like totally up for a new adventure. You know, you're ready to go get more. And I do think Sagittarius season, being Jupiter ruled and having Jupiter in rulership in Pisces, I do believe that there is this notion of I want more, and it can be materialistic and it can be just more fulfilling life experience. It can be spirituality, it can be knowledge, whatever the case may be. Everything is on the table when Jupiter is at play because Jupiter is all encompassing. He does not divide. He does not separate. There's no separation between spirituality and materialism in any way, shape, or form. They are one and of the same, okay? But more, I want more. And then this person is over here saying, well, I just got more, right? Boom, all of a sudden, things just really came to light. And there does seem to be a lot of openness and readiness to really go about life in a completely different kind of way, right? To really go about life in with new spirits. You know, it's definitely a lot lighter. There's not as much baggage. There's not as much like being pinned down by previous trauma and wounding. And it's just, maybe it's a really great time for this couple, you guys, pile 3, to just kind of call it a blank slate. You know, call it a blank slate. So we have 3 of Cups, beautiful. There is something going on here. Wow, I like this. I really like the Swords. One of the themes that emerged throughout December they were the themes of retraining our brain. Okay, and I have a suspicion that that's actually the Capricorn energy with Mercury coming into Capricorn. It's going to be doing a retrograde. So I think that theme is going to continue into January. We are retraining our brains. We are, I'm sorry, I'm not like a neuroscientist or anything, but we're starting to fire new neurons. We're doing things differently. We're approaching things differently. And in so doing, we are actually taking different kinds of action. And I think the different actions is really the most important thing. Because if we have new ideas or whatever, but then we keep doing the same thing, then it's like, who cares, right? It's the new ideas, the new epiphanies, the new mindsets, and how that carries and utilizes our body into entirely new life experiences. And weirdly enough, I've got 2 people who seem to be doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. So with that Ace of Swords and this King of Swords, this is both very Aquarian energies coming through right here. There is this massive determination also with the Chariot to push past any and all boundaries. So this is a story of 2 people saying, we want to go experience something new. And maybe we want to do it together. Maybe we want to do it separately together. I'm not saying there's no split up or anything, but I go and do my thing. You go and do your thing. Oh, sorry, there was a weird noise. We each go and do our own things, and then we come back and we share and we kind of indulge in the splendor of all this novelty in our lives. And I think there's a lot of support mutually for each other's success. There's a lot of support mutually for each other's new adventures and for the people that you're each wanting to become. Now, in a healthy relationship, this is completely non-threatening. In an unhealthy relationship, maybe this could be threatening because it means growth, and growth kind of puts in a big question mark of, well, we're already shaky enough, and if we go and grow and we evolve, does that mean we're still going to want to be together at the end of it? Although I am feeling a healthiness here. If you are in an unhealthy relationship, the real question is will you allow an unhealthy relationship? And you can define that however you need to. Will you allow an unhealthy relationship to prevent you from your own personal growth, which ultimately is just going to lead to greater degrees of resentment and unhappiness? Okay, that won't apply to all of you. Probably very few of you that will apply to. But regardless, there's a lot of movement here, a lot of big decisions, a lot of passion, a lot of excitement with that Three of Cups. I love the feeling of joy that I'm getting over here. There's just like open-hearted, open arms, like, all right, let's freaking go. Let's jump off this cliff. Let's make this happen. Let's go into a new timeline. Let's invite all sorts of new things into our lives. And this Chariot is 100% up for the ride. There is no doubt about it. And actually, the King of Swords knows that that's what it takes. The King of Swords knows that is, that's what, in order for them to achieve their goals, knows that that's what needs to happen. You need to be up for the ride. You need to pick up and go. You need to embrace the sense of adventure that comes around once in a while. Now, the Nine of Wands is an interesting connector. But I don't necessarily see it as you against each other so much as the two of you against the world. Like, you may be doing things that a lot of people don't understand. You may be growing in a way that a lot of people don't understand. And you may have to keep your world private. I honestly would not recommend, and with Mercury in Capricorn, that's probably going to be accentuated. Also, we still have that South Node in Scorpio as well, and Jupiter in Pisces. There is a lot in the sky right now supporting secrecy. And I don't mean bad secrecy. It's just like keeping things private. The world doesn't need to know about a lot of stuff, because the more you invite the world in, the more opinions, the more voices, the more injection you receive. So this is about you keeping your world private and you doing a lot of things behind closed doors, telling very, very few people, if any. This is about two people making big moves. And then when it's done and the accomplishment has already been established, then you tell people. All right? But I think this is exciting, and it has the potential for a lot of growth throughout 2023. 2023 is going to be, in a lot of ways, the best year ever, and in a lot of ways, the worst year ever on more of a global scale. But as individuals, incredible things are in line to happen, okay? So don't forget that if you are a member on my site, to just log in quickly and check out the weekly love reading that I do for each zodiac sign, okay? That'll be at the top of the members area, or you can just go specifically to the love readings tab as well, and it'll be at the very top, okay? Thank you so much, you guys. I love you. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, welcome to the second segment, which is geared for those of you who are single and hopefully looking for love, okay? Or just looking for new ways to relate to people. So we have 3 piles as always. We're using a bloodstone for pile number 1, a celestite for pile number 2, and an orange agate for pile number 3. So go ahead and take a moment, pause the video if you feel inspired to do so. Some people don't always feel intuitively drawn to a pile, and that's perfectly fine. You can always just randomly select a pile, and chances are there will be something in there for you somewhere. Timestamps down in the description box in the comment thread down below. All right, see you in just a sec. All right, pile 1, you selected a bloodstone. So we're going to start with the top card, which represents the energy for the person watching, which is you. And then for the external world, which is the devil. Okay. Now, I actually don't mind the devil a lot. We'll see what comes out around it. But I think right now you're in such a good place. Like, I know you've been doing a lot of the healing work. You've been organizing your life, getting things together, finding happiness in so many other areas, okay? Probably happiness throughout your own family, hopefully, happiness throughout your friends, happiness through your careers and through your financial situation, whatever the case may be. You are working very hard to become the type of person that can attract the type of person that you want, right? With the devil out there, this is why I don't mind the devil. I know we're not in Capricorn season yet, but today Venus comes into Capricorn. We've got Mercury in Capricorn as well. And that more Saturnine quality, that more Saturnine nature is really coming forward for a lot of people. To me, this is a card of discipline and focus. It's a card of commitment and loyalty, okay? And it's by choice, right? Saying, okay, I have goals and I am going to tether myself to these goals almost in an obsessive manner, but not in a negatively obsessive way. But I'm going to tether myself to these goals and do everything I can to achieve them. And you may be attracting people like that, people who are, really incredible entrepreneurs or business owners, or they're climbing those corporate ladders and they're making a mark in their communities, and they're doing really good things for a lot of people and in turn helping themselves. Okay, there's a lot of balance there. And this is probably like, the type of person that you're wanting to be in a relationship with, someone who's not a deadbeat, right? Someone who's not just going to sit there complacent in their, in their wounds and in their pain. These are people who are actually doing something about it. Now, I know that's not the normal interpretation of the devil, but because Capricorn is activated and this is the Capricorn card, I'm seeing a lot of those traits come out in people, especially with Venus there, okay? So beautiful. And actually, Temperance has a lot to do with self-discipline as well. And this is where you can find happiness a lot is, like instead of negotiating with yourself, waking up and saying, well, I could do this, which is in line with what I want in life, or I could do that, which is maybe a little bit on the lazy side. Now, I'm not saying to not give yourself rest if you need rest. I'm not saying to not honor your bodies, but I also know that with Capricorn being activated, and also Sagittarius, Sun is still in Sag, right? There is that desire for expansion. And it's going to be really, really, really hard for us to just sit still right now. And if we are just sitting still, in spite of a strong desire to grow, that is what really nurtures a lot of unhappiness. Now, I don't see you doing that. Page of Swords, I see you actually saying, all right, this is where I want to go. This is what I see for myself in my love life. And I'm going to do everything, not to go get it, but do everything in my power to be like the type of person so that I can attract the type of person that I want. Okay. Page of Swords is really open and free-flowing, whimsical in a way. Now, if you do relate a lot more to the divine feminine energy, if you are more whimsical and you are more receptive and intuitive, and maybe you are even a little bit charmingly chaotic, okay? Even if that is your, that would be me 100%, okay? So I'm just putting that out there for the people who relate specifically to the divine feminine. It doesn't mean that you can't still go and create beautiful things in your life, okay? The chaos can be a wonderful advantage. And I say chaos loosely. I don't mean like destruction and all that. All right. It's just, maybe it's not like according to a schedule every day. Maybe it's not super ambitious or whatever the case is, but it doesn't mean you still don't want to grow. It doesn't mean you still don't want some semblance of direction. Okay. So the more whimsical you may be, I actually think you have the potential to make a lot of magic over the course of the next few weeks. So let's take a look here at the external world. What's going on out here? Yeah, see, it's like the more and more you focus on Oh my goodness. I'm loving this. Like, if you are out there, quote unquote, whether it's on an app, whether it's social events, I know it's like holidays, so there's a lot of parties, there are a lot of things to go to, a lot of community things, whatever the case is. Like, if you're out there and you're available, there's a really good chance, and I'm not guaranteeing it for everybody, but there's a good chance you may meet someone pretty freaking awesome. Pretty awesome. Now, again, I'm taking the more positive note on the devil here, because look what's around it. I had a feeling it was more positive. I don't know, like, some of you may keep telling yourself, oh, well, I still need to work on this. I still need to work on this. No, you're in a really good place right now. I'm just going to confirm that for you. You're in a really fantastic place. And while you are worried about becoming the type of person that can attract the type of person that you want, you didn't realize that you actually did become that. And maybe you do realize, hopefully you do. And it is highly possible that you may pull someone in. Now, if you don't pull someone in, okay, you'll still likely connect with people. You'll have one-on-one types of conversations, maybe very deep, meaningful conversations with people. You will see their depth, they will see yours, and there can be a lot of appreciation for each other, for each other. There could also be really high quality things going on at work in a non-romantic way. And I know this is supposed to be a romantic reading, but since this is the external world, it may not manifest that way specifically for all of you. But nonetheless, like, if you're looking for more money, you may sign some really great clients and bring in that money, okay? So there could be I do feel all of it positive though. All of it is an inflow. All of it is working towards something great. And even though this may not happen this week for you guys, it's in the air. It's really in the air. And we've had some kind of ups and downs with these love readings. Yeah, see, there is something with work. There's definitely something with the more like functional aspect of your life going on right now. So don't discount the importance of work and work events and professional connections and whatnot. Okay, a lot can really happen for you through that particular avenue. A lot of whatever it is you're putting down, the universe is picking up. Okay, that's a guarantee. And at some point, it's inevitable. At some point, it's inevitable that you're going to align with someone really freaking awesome, someone that you respect and they respect you. And I think that's one of the most important aspects of any relationship is mutual respect. Okay? Beautiful. Love that for you, Pile 1. Hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget that if you're a member to log in and check out the members area for the latest love reading for all the zodiac signs. And that's it. All right. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you selected the Celestite. So let's go ahead and take a look. This represents your energy. This represents the energy of the external world here. So, okay, now this can represent, the word that's coming to mind is confusion, but it could be productive confusion or non-productive confusion. Okay, let me explain. Non-productive confusion is where there's an element of chaos and there's an element of like no direction and really not knowing where the heck you're going, or, you're just kind of at the mercy of every day you wake up and you're like, all right, well, no clue what's happening here, The more positive side of confusion is that you're trying to build something new. You're trying to do something new. You're pushing yourself. You're growing, and you have no idea what you're doing. Okay, that's, I think, is a lot more positive, right? Because you at least have a goal in mind. And so what if you don't know what you're doing, right? Maybe you're learning a new skill, a new talent. You're learning how to put yourself out there in a new way. Yeah, it gets confusing sometimes, and you do make mistakes. And you may not know exactly what feels comfortable yet. It's kind of like when you first start learning how to play an instrument You know, you just kind of like put your fingers where they tell you to put your fingers, you push down and you start making the connection with these little notes on the paper, you know, on the sheet music, and you just kind of figure it out and plunk along as you go along until that intrinsic understanding truly seeps in. And that moment hits when it finally clicks. I do think you're in this moment where like something is about to click for you and really start to take off, which is great. This probably has nothing to do with love, okay? This probably has to do with just what you're going through in your life, the person you're becoming. You know, you're evolving into something new, and sometimes that process can be a little bit weird and confusing, okay? Now, in the external world, we have the Ten of Wands. Now, when I see this as the energy of like other people, okay, I think that you are aligning with other people who are, I don't know, I don't mind a Ten of Wands. It is a lot of work and it can feel very heavy. And sometimes in today's modern age, it can be associated with a little bit of the hustle culture, but not in the worst way possible. I think these are people who are building really substantial things in their lives, whether it's they're building a business or they're building beautiful homes or they're building beautiful families, you know, may or may not be like the person, okay? It's just what you're seeing out there. When you're out there in the world, you're on the computer, your algorithms are picking this stuff up, whatever the case is, right? You're seeing people building substantial things. And maybe that's where the confusion is like, well, how do I do that too? I'm feeling something really alchemical going on. You're attracting these Ten of Wands, people, images, ideas. You're attracting these things in, and a desire is blossoming up inside of you. It's blossoming up. I want to build it too. I want to do it too. I want to figure it out too. I want to become that person too. There's lots of aspiration coming through, that you're someone that you are aspiring to be. Queen of Swords. Three of Swords. Okay. First of all, if you're in a complicated hot and cold situation, I've been saying this for a while now. I really don't have a lot of hope for those types of relationships right now. As we finish 2022 and make our way into 2023, between now and March, and even when March hits, when Saturn comes into Pisces, it's like you may be hanging on by a bare thread right now. But I think it's just only a matter of time between those types of uninvested relationships are just going to fall apart. Okay, because this is a massive investment. And what you're seeing out there are people who are massively investing in love. They are massively investing in the future with somebody. Now, if you're not seeing that, honestly, you need to change your social media algorithm. So you need to start searching for new things, all right? You need to start associating with new types of people. You need new friends, right? You need to put yourself in line with people who are doing the Ten of Wands stuff. These people are building castles. They're building empires. They're building legacies, okay? And I think that's what's really aren't you tired, Three of Swords? Aren't you tired of the disappointment, tired of the frustration, tired of the blockage, tired of not being able to get what you truly need as a human being? And not only what you need to get, but also what you need to give. Like if you're in a hot and cold situation, or if you've been in a cycle of those recently, it's not only that they're not loving you, it's that you cannot truly love them. And that's really, really hard, especially if you relate mostly to a divine feminine, okay? If you relate to the feminine, giving love, right? Like if you know anything about the circuitry, right? Masculine genitals is positive, right? It goes out. Feminine is negative, it goes in. But the woman's chest, or the female, right, with the heart, that's kind of the positive part of the circuit for females, right? It's like the breasts protrude, they give life, their heart is there giving, like that's the masculine component of a divine feminine, is the heart space. So giving love, so important. And if you are in a situation where someone will not receive it, you die inside. And so that cycle is coming to an end, right? As you date, as you go out there and you put yourself out there and, whatever the case is, that has to be one of the determining factors for you. Will this person really receive my love? Whoops, hold on. Will this person really receive my love? Okay. Because if they can't receive it, then I'm not going to be able to receive theirs, because give and receive are one and of the same. Okay? There's a lot of privacy I'm feeling over here. Like, people are busy. And I think the busier the people you associate with, I know that sounds weird because you're like, yeah, but busy people don't have time to socialize. I don't necessarily mean you have to socialize with them. You don't have to like go out to dinner with these people or whatever the case may be. But it's like if you're spending your time going over to your buddy's house and you're sitting on the couch watching junk TV and eating junk food, or are you going to go to like a really good community event or a good professional event where you can actually associate with, like productive people, contributing people that contribute more. Big difference. I don't know. I feel like you're starting to align with the visionaries. You're starting to align with the geniuses, the emotionally intelligent. You're starting to align with the big creators, right? The world is separated into two groups, the creators and the consumers, plain and simple. And the creators are the ones that can literally have whatever they want, and the consumers are the ones who have to accept what everyone else gives them, right? So I think you're starting to like really align with that more creative part. I'm not saying you're not a creative person. Everybody's a creative person. But it's whether or not you're utilizing and leveraging and harnessing your creativity. And are you building something that the world benefits from with that or not? So your life, I think, really is about to change. Your life, your financial situation, your romantic situation, it's all about to change. And it's simply because of this moment here. And I don't know that it's only this week. I think this is something that's been going on for a while, but it's starting to come to a head. And as the sun comes into Capricorn in a couple of weeks, not quite this week, but we have the activation of Capricorn already. So as that happens, the determination to actually make it happen is going to be stronger than ever. Okay? So this is beautiful for you. Like, you're never going back. And that's been a theme that I've been saying in all my astrology readings that I post on Wednesday with all the full moons since July. This last half of the year is quite literally a point of no return. You're never, ever, ever going back. All your wishes are coming true. That's it. All your wishes are coming true. And I think the Queen of Swords knows that. Like, you know that. It's just a matter of putting yourself on the right path. And actually, it's not really putting yourself on the right path in terms of like you have to go somewhere else. It's just more about returning to the path that you had been on in the past that you likely deviated from, especially with the relationships. Relationships do have a tendency to cause us to deviate from our path, especially if we don't understand that at the time. If we can meet someone who doesn't encourage us to deviate from our path, that is when a relationship has a high likelihood not only of success for longevity, but also happiness and fulfillment. Okay? Big week for pile 2. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys there. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Also, don't forget, if you're a member, to log in, check the members area. First video on the page should be for the love readings, or you can go to, under the members area, there's a new tab there that says weekly love readings, so you can access it easily from there as well. All right, thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 3, you selected the orange agate, so let's go ahead and take a look. First card is you. Okay, well, the second card is the environment. All right, so we have the Tower, which I actually really like, because when you are embracing the Tower, it can be the best thing that ever happened to you, right? This is you reaching that enough point, like enough of this circumstance. I'm done. I'm over it. I absolutely 100% will not stand for this anymore. Boom, the rules change, the whole game changes, okay? So you're in this process of changing the game for yourself. This can apply in your businesses, your financial life, your social life as well. Now, when someone is going through a Tower, your whole energy field is completely transformed. Now, this is very fast. And I know that we always talk about the healing as this whole big process, and it's a never-ending thing, but there are these moments, these fortunate moments, when we get to go through something where we immediately upgrade. Boom, all of a sudden. Okay? And it's something just clicks for us. Something just comes into our mind, and all of a sudden we're just a different person. Okay? And I think that's what's happening for pile 3. And in the environment, we have the Queen of Wands, which of course she has this beautiful, determined, passionate, sexual kind of quality about her. And she is, in a lot of ways, just ready to go. And I think that's where you're at too with the Tower, You may be attracting incredibly... the word that's really coming to my mind, this is an Aries card, the word initiation. People who are initiating a lot of things, right? They're in positions of power, they're delegating, they're telling other people what to do, they're building things, making things happen. These are people who make moves really, really fast. And because they make moves so quickly, they're able to do a lot. Okay, we're talking about some of the more successful people in life. Now, you may not be trying to attract a huge business owner. That may not be your style, and that's fine. But this is someone who's not just sitting around and waiting for the world to do something. This is someone who actually pushes that fabric of reality in a whole new way and forces the world to adjust around them. And I think that's what you're actually doing yourself as well, which is probably why this person is showing up for you. Because you're taking command with that Tower. You're allowing something to fall apart. Now, I'm not saying the Tower is easy. It's not easy. It's hard. It's a lot of work. And it forces you to go deeper within yourself than you probably ever thought you ever wanted to, right? Because you have to find the core essence of who and what you are. Oh my gosh, stop it. I can't even handle the awesomeness of this reading right now. With the Fool, this is actually really scorpionic stuff. We kind of have the death rebirth component. I know it's not the death card, but this is a fast Scorpio rising quality. Okay. First of all, this is all happening because your mentality with that Ace of Swords. Your mind is in control here. And that's actually a really, it can be a negative thing and a positive thing. Because if you know how to use your mind, you can use your mind to get your body to do what your body needs to do. And when your body and your mind are in alignment and you feel good about it as well, there is an unstoppability about you. And the Fool is like, heck yes, let's go. Like, this is the ride I've been wanting to go on. There's an element of a thrill. You're wanting a thrill in your life. You're wanting exhilaration. And so you purposefully create that, not by tearing down things that are working, not by tearing down people that you love, which a lot of people do, unfortunately, which is terrible. But you're not tearing down the positive aspects of your life. You're tearing down your own resistance and your own hesitation and your own comfort. You know, and you're saying, screw that. I don't want to live my whole life comfortably. Now, there's times for that. I'm not going to lie, right? You guys know I always have a fluctuating reading schedule, okay? There are times when action is really important, and then there are times when surrender is important and where contentment is a good thing. Right now, I don't know that contentment is really enough. Now, you can be content with what is and still want to expand. Those things are not mutually exclusive, okay? You can have both. And I think right now the expansion is a little bit more important. So what else is going on here? Now, if you are in a hot and cold relationship, again, I've been saying this over and over and over. I honestly don't have a lot of hope for those relationships right now unless someone has a massive change of heart, you know, and if you believe that they truly want change and if they are willing to like go to therapy or do the shadow work or do the inner child healing or whatever the case is, if you genuinely believe that they are capable of that, then yeah, maybe it has hope. But if you don't know that that's the case, then I don't have a lot of faith that that's really going to turn into anything other than what it is. Okay? Because what's waiting for you out in the world is someone that wants to grow with you, that wants to share with you, that wants to have a give and take of mutual respect, who wants to communicate with you, who wants to talk about real stuff with you, who's not afraid to go deep with you, who's not afraid to be vulnerable and weak in front of you, right? There is someone who wants to accomplish great things, but people who accomplish great things must be great people. Okay, and greatness entails the full gamut, the light and the dark. Okay, this person, I do think there's someone around. Now, the readings have not been the most romantic the past couple of, well, like a month and a half, really, since like Scorpio season started, maybe even really since Libra season, actually. It just hasn't been that romantic. There just hasn't been a lot of romantic stuff in the sky, you know? And I also think this has changed now, but also Vesta, the asteroid, was in Aquarius as well. And that was kind of creating a blockage. She's now in Pisces. So I do think that's kind of warming everything up a little bit. Vesta has a lot to do with like our sexuality too. And so just the desire to be more sexual is just a little bit more present. But anyway, there's something brewing. If you're completely single and have no idea where this is coming from, this is coming from the changes that you're making. Will it manifest this week? Maybe for some, although I don't know. I mean, Wheel of Fortune is a card of time as it represents the sun going through the zodiac. But in time, I would give it between now and next year. Some of you will experience rapid relationship status changes between now and December of next year. I know that's really generic. I'm sorry. I know. But a lot of you have been single for a long time. Like I've been single for like 8 years, right? A lot of you have been single for a long time. That tide is turning. It's turning. Oh, and I just happened to see the Emperor. Okay. So what's bridging the gap between you and the external world? Your empowerment. The more empowered you are, the more likely this is to come in, because that Queen of Wands is really empowered. She doesn't suffer from insecurity. She doesn't suffer from feelings of worthlessness. She doesn't sit back and think, oh, do I deserve this? It's not what she's doing. That's not who she is. It's not what she allows herself to do. Okay? So the more confident you become, because a lack of confidence isn't helping anybody. It doesn't help anybody. It definitely doesn't help you. You know, so the more confident you can be, the more creative you want to be, the more passionate you are, the more enthusiastic you are, the more you can embrace, you know, like the joie de vivre, like whatever that, you know, you can definitely embrace that. And I don't know, this Queen of Wands, I think is going to really surprise you. I really do. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you with that. So, if you're a member, please feel free to log into the website as well. Don't forget to do that. Check the members area, the blog/members area. You should be redirected as soon as you log in. The video will be at the very top. Okay? All right. Thank you all so much. You guys know I love you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.